In 2014, Apex has made a splash on the airsoft scene with their affordably priced full metal AEGs. Many features typically considered custom or upgrade are included standard on the Mark 13 series of airsoft rifles. The Mark 13 series offered several different varieties of Picatinny railed foreends and in several lengths ranging from CQB to full-length carbine. Airsoft Extreme was able to obtain some advanced prototypes of the new R5 series, and we want to show you what is different between the Mark 13 series and the new Apex R5. The R5 receiver is packed full of new, ergonomic features that is quite unique in the airsoft market. For starters, the controls are designed for ambidextrous use, including the magazine catch release, the fire selector switch, and the fake bolt stop release. Front of the magazine well is serrated for better control when gripping. The magazine well is wider and beveled for better control during magazine changes. The lower receiver ribs are wider, making the lower receiver more rigid and durable. The upper receiver follows a slab-sided design. While aesthetically, this makes the gun very aggressive in appearance, it has the benefit of making the upper receiver more rigid. This has a positive effect on the accuracy of the gun. Also, we particularly like the dark bronze color that the R5 will be available in. We have not seen any other maker use this color except the VFC Scars. This is just one of those things that airsofters will either love or hate, but dark bronze is a big trend in modern sport rifles, and we are happy that Apex is providing us with this option. The grip and buttstock are similar to the Mark 13 series. The pistol grip is comfortably angled with a textured gripping surface and palm swell that fits the hand naturally. The front of the pistol grip is extended into the trigger guard junction, eliminating that trigger guard bite so hated in M4 series rifles. A steel sling plate is standard. It offers both right and left-handed attachment of a one-point sling without interfering with either your cheek weld or stock positioning. The stock is styled slightly different from a standard crane stock. The battery tubes are thinner than those on the Mark 13. It will fit any buffer tube LiPo, split LiPo pack, or 4-5A split 9.6 volt NIM pack. The thinner battery tubes does make the stock sleeker and more comfortable to shoulder. The R5 features comes in two types of rails. The standard R5 uses a one-piece tubular full metal handguard with a fairly thin cross-section. It has a full Picatinny rail on top and short Picatinny sections in the front sides and bottom. This allows for a very comfortable C-grip on the handguard. The other handguard is a key mod rail. What sets the Apex key mod rail apart from other Chinese-made key mod rails is that these are made up to a true key mod specs and properly chamfered on the inside. Here we have Parallax Tactical key mod rail sections attached. As you can see, they fit perfectly and lock on super tight. Another great feature is that there are 6 key mod mounting surfaces on this handguard. Other airsoft key mod handguards usually only offer 3 key mod mounting surfaces. While you may not use them all, it is sure nice knowing that you could if you wanted to. The appearance of the R5 gearbox should be very familiar to the Mark 13 owners. It is a reinforced gearbox with 9mm bearing bushings and low resistance wiring. The selector plate is constructed of sturdy polymer and specifically designed to function with the ambidextrous selector switch. The bearing spring guide is the quick detach system from the Mark 13 to facilitate fast spring changes. Note that the cylinder cutout is radiused on the corners for extended gearbox life. This is a feature that we first saw in classic Army rifles back in 2006, and it appears to have become a fairly common in modern high-end airsoft guns. The gear set is a high torque gear set, capable of handling up to an M130 spring. The motor is a high torque motor. When combined with the gears will allow the gun to handle up to an M140 spring with no problem. The nozzle has an O-ring in it for better air seal. The nozzle, piston head, cylinder, and cylinder head are actually bore up. This is great for upgraders because it really maximizes the velocity performance of your spring. However, the combination of high torque gears, motor, and bore up cylinder kits is not good for those seeking high rate of fire. It is, however, very good for durability and lifespan of the gun, which is what we think Apex intended. Everything here we see is intended to 1. Make the gearbox durable, and 2. Make the gearbox easy to service with off-the-shelf parts, as there is nothing here besides the spring guide that we find proprietary. One thing to note here is a lack of electric blowback. The bolt plate setup is the same as a Mark 13, but the part that the piston grabs onto to move the bolt has been removed. The new R5 uses the same 6.03mm tight bore inner barrel as the Mark 13. It also uses the same metal or rotary hop-up unit. You can distinctly feel the clicks as you turn the wheel. This allows for a much finer hop-up control and stability. Your hop-up isn't going to wander around as you shoot your gun. We here at Airsoft Extreme consider the R Series to be the next step in the evolution of Airsoft. The external styling of the gun is a refreshing departure from the hordes of clone M4s on the market, where all that's changed is the rail system or stock. Apex has really considered the functional demands of modern airsofters and incorporated all of those into their receivers, particularly the ambidextrous controls. The pricing really reflects the benefits of making so-called upgrade features standard on a gun. This reminds us of the 1990s 1911 market, where all you could buy was a standard government model 1911, and then you have to have a gunsmith add such things as a beaver tail grips, skeletonized hammers and triggers, etc. Nowadays, you can buy a fully loaded 1911 for relatively cheap. The same philosophy is reflected here in the R Series. One aspect of the R5 that some airsofters will be debating for months to come is the gearbox. While it is still full of upgraded parts, there is nothing game-changing about it. There are many manufacturers now who incorporate MOSFETs into their gearboxes, but whether these are gimmicks or game changers remain to be seen. There is no one-size-fits-all gun. The vast majority of airsofters simply want their gun to shoot when they pull the trigger. We think that is the Apex approach. Build a solid gearbox that just works, and if the owner wants to customize it to their personal specifications, they have an industry-standard gearbox to work with that can accept a wide variety of parts. Thanks for watching our Apex R5 review. Please visit us on the web at airsoftextreme.com or come to one of our stores to purchase the Apex R5 series. Meanwhile, we will wrap up our video review with some shots of the R5 in action at our Airsoft Extreme Santa Clara.